Welcome to Aging Untold. If you're caring for someone with memory loss, you may notice the hardest hours can come at the end of the day. It's a condition known as sundowning, when confusion, anxiety, or behavior changes ramp up in the late afternoon and evening. Sam, why is this so challenging for so many families?
Because they don't understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest issue is, you've got this pretty passive, really calm person throughout the morning, throughout the day. Things are really, confusion, yes. Memory loss, yes. Changes, yes. But they're just passively calm. And then you get towards the evening and there's agitation, there's aggravation, there can be some hostility to such. There's just all these things going on all of a sudden. And it's like, what happened? What happened? You were calm 5 minutes ago. And what happens is that brain is exhausted. Yeah. That brain has done all, its reserve is gone.
How about all of us? If we get tired, we get cranky.
Yeah.
What about your cell phone? If you run it all day,
it gets tired.
It's going to get drained, right?
Right.
Children do it. You run them all day.
Right.
It's basically the brain is saying, hey, I need help.
Right.
I'm running out of energy.
Right.
That's all it's saying.
And families trying to interpret that and then understand what to do with that. And I know you've seen it in communities, Amy.
What I'd want people to know is you're not alone, and it doesn't last forever. This stage is not a forever stage. Now, when I say that, we say in the business, if you've seen one person with a memory impairment, you've seen one person with a memory impairment. So going to the next stage, it could be they're just so tired they can't get up and walk around. It could be that they're so severely confused that they don't have the energy to go. It could be that they died. Yeah. So you don't know what the next stage is, but I guess the hope that I'd want to give a caregiver is that it's temporary. Now, temporary for some could be a year and a half. Temporary for some could be 3 months. And so I would challenge people to listen to what they're saying. And you've had this experience with, are they hungry? Are they thirsty? Is the shadows at night scaring them? Do you need a night light?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think sometimes too is recognizing what the patterns were before the change. What were the patterns in my life before this dementia, brain change, brain damage happened? Was I coming home from work at 4 or 5 o'clock every day? And so now the pattern is a little more excitement about being with kids and family and those things. And was I maybe a little more agitated? So those patterns, or did I work afternoon shifts? Did I work evening shifts? So knowing what the person did historically helps us understand how to manage the behaviors and the patterns of today. And that's a big one for any caregiver and for anybody case managing for sure.
So when that light starts going down, they start to see shadows and things like that. So they don't know what they are, or their routine, that what you thought was routine for them becomes confusing. And I think if you can create routine for the brain, if the brain knows what's coming next, that's calming as well too. And also, many times people will make sure it's very, very lit early on. Don't wait till it goes down so they can kind of keep that whole lighting and all that, minimize those shadows or whatever they're seeing.
So think about the environment. What can we do in the home, in the environment that supports the brain and what's going on? I think another great thing to do is visit memory care communities. It has a way of kind of doing homework, but also for the education. Because if you understand why the home is built the way it is, a memory care home is built the way it is, why it's decorated the way it is, what kind of activities they have, what kind of training they have. You can glean so much from that and then maybe incorporate that into your lifestyle at home, or have a plan for later that is more supportive and allows people to also kind of have peace in their life too, because it's very, very difficult to be in that position.
And I always say, if this is a new behavior, don't just assume it's sundowning. Don't just assume that this is a progression of that dementia. Please rule out whether or not we have a urinary tract infection or another infection. Maybe a constipation. Maybe there's a med change. Something's metabolizing different. Even if that med's been on board for a long time, because of the way the brain changes, it'll metabolize it differently as well. So, am I in pain?
Right.
What else could be happening? Don't just automatically assume this is disease progression,
Right.
and this is my new life, because you could miss something very key and something that you could treat very easily.
And you have to remember, small things will overwhelm them very easily.
yeah.
That's right.
Small things, little small things
Yeah.
that
That's
used to
right.
bother them.
Have you been around somebody with ADD?
Right. The frustration is so high with caregivers. It's a tough behavior to work with.
Yes.
If you have to, and I'm not really a medication person, I like the non-pharmacological approaches, but if you can't seem to get anything,
Sure.
go to the doctor and work with a physician to temporarily find a medication, perhaps temporary, to help get through some of the acuteness of it.